Almost all of Malaysia's solar resource is untapped and will likely remain so until 2035 under the current National Energy Transition Roadmap. Here to tell us more about this is Sabrina Nadila from Ember. Sabrina, what specific factors are limiting solar energy development in Malaysia?
Yeah, Malaysia has a massive solar power potential. It has around 269 gigawatt of total potential capacity. However, there are several factors that can hinder the growth of solar in Malaysia. For example, insufficient grid infrastructure in Malaysia may hinder the growth of solar because the grid is not flexible enough to accommodate the increasing solar power supply in the coming years. In Peninsular Malaysia, the government has set a 24% solar penetration limit into the grid, which is understandable to maintain grid stability, but it can hinder the growth of the increasing solar in the coming years if Malaysia is to accelerate its solar power in the coming future. And also in Sabah and Sarawak, we've seen slower solar growth and it can be caused by the lack of incentives for either the producers and also consumers to participate in the solar deployment.
So, in order to fully utilize its solar energy potential, what exactly should Malaysia do?
Holistic system-wide planning is key. So coupling solar with grid flexibility is crucial to accommodate Malaysia's energy transition. So not only about the generation of solar, but accommodating the grid with more flexibility in catering to the intermittency of solar is important. So the grid stability in Malaysia during the transition can be maintained. For example, solar energy can only be available when the sun shines. So it means during the night, there is no solar power. And by having storage facilities like battery energy storage system, the technology can store the energy from solar during daytime, and then it releases it during nighttime when it is needed. So battery storage coupled with solar can ensure a reliable supply of power from solar to meet the growing demand in peninsular Malaysia. And therefore, supportive framework such as a different tariff mechanism for battery storage services and also specific guidelines for foreign participants in battery energy adoption is important. So more incentives for battery storage adoption can attract these stakeholders to initiate the deployment of battery storage in the coming years. Also, to address the slow deployment in Sabah and Sarawak, um, solar loan programs with low to zero interest and also more subsidies for solar deployment for both power producers and consumers can also kickstart the growth of solar in Sabah and Sarawak states.
Just to be more specific on this, Sabrina, how much will the generation cost decrease if solar energy in Malaysia is fully utilized?
That's an interesting question. So, increased reliance on solar power can bring affordability benefits to Malaysia's power sector. Our analysis indicates that solar generation costs to be exact, have fallen by 64% from 2016 to 2021. Our analysis is based on the lowest auction rates that happened in large-scale solar program between 2016 to 2021. However, while the actual rates of awarded projects were not disclosed by the government, further investigation is needed to really identify what are the actual solar generation costs based on the operating projects. But this analysis can indicate that solar generation costs can be cheaper than fossil fuels. So the auctioned projects in 2021 were expected to be commissioned in 2023. This leads to the possibility of solar generation costs being 53% cheaper than fossil fuel generation costs, which are derived from the base tariff in 2023 that the government has disclosed that comes from gas and also of coal power plants.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insights, Sabrina.
Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, that was Sabrina Nadila, Ember's Southeast Asia Electricity Policy Analyst. For more news, visit asian-power.com.